don't know why he does this. I told him to poop before we started. And he just wouldn't do it.
Well, at least he made it quick.
Poop.
That was a fast poop.
I never pooped that fast. That's how you know I didn't.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was in Colorado with Mike and Eric, and they make going to the bathroom a fucking experience for some reason. Like, they take like hours at a time to shit.
It's now a 30-minute block of time.
I get in, get out, I shower, everything. It's in and out. You guys make going to the bathroom this like whole like Mike. I used to tell Mike when we lived together. I was like, you tell me when you're going to do your little shit shower thing, so I know that I have at least an hour and a half where I cannot use the restroom, because that's what it's going to turn into. Then with being Eric and Mike, it was like his whole thing. It was like there's half our day gone because they.
You're listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Welcome everyone to Cult of Campbell. I'm Ty.
I'm Eric.
I'm Marissa.
I'm Ben.
Yeah, it happened natural every time.
I told you.
So they didn't hear it, but before we ever started this episode, I was like, Ursa, you will get to go first. And then we both paused. And you know what? Ursa's sabotaging me. That's what it is.
I tried to go first. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, he tried to go first.
I thought I paused.
You broke the. You said it. You said you go first, and you still tried to go in front of him. That's your own fault, Ben.
I don't know what happened. This is why I don't do Cult of Campbell anymore.
It is fated to be. Fated.
This is the first one I've done in like 6 months. And just
It is the first one you've been on in a minute.
Oh my God.
But here we are. We're here. It's Cultober 3.
Yeah.
Our big annual celebration of all things Halloween. And we're getting kicked off. We kicked off yesterday with Hocus Pocus. Fantastic way to start off Halloween season.
That's right. We put a spell on you.
We put a spell on you, and today we're continuing it because it is our first edition of Cultober Cult of Campbell. We have 4 episodes of Cult of Campbell this month, and 2 of them don't even have Bruce Campbell in them.
What?
Yeah, either it's just something special, or it could just be a testament to me trying to find anything possibly to fill this show up. So
leave it up to the audience interpretation.
Yeah. I'll start if Bruce
That's
Campbell,
some Cultober madness.
Yeah, if Bruce Campbell was in a movie that aired before a movie on USA Network, we'll do it because at least we'll put the we'll try the Campbell connection up. If a movie had a preview for Burn Notice in it, it counts. It counts.
It counts.
It counts.
You're counting it.
It
That's
counts.
what meets groovy, not groovy criteria now for analysis.
If there is either
books.
if there are either
I don't buy this.
if there's anyone whose name is either Bruce or Campbell or sounds close to Bruce Campbell, it counts.
Before long, Ty's going to start producing shorts where he's reading the label cans on the back of Campbell's soup.
Yeah. Today on Cult of Campbell, we're taking a look at condensed chicken noodle soup.
Now that's some groovy cream of mushroom soup.
My God.
Well, the show really devolves.
Groovy.
Really devolves at that point. I think at that point you guys better just make me stop doing it. So Ben, can I get you on the Campbell's tomato soup review this week?
So at that point, I think it just becomes a social experiment where the audience is just listening to Ty slowly go crazy on air.
Yeah, did you guys see how that soup podcast started? It was about Bruce Campbell originally.
For like years. And then
They
one
just
day,
shifted.
And then the guy lost his mind.
He started doing all kinds of random stuff. That's what happens. I've become Ash from Evil Dead 2. Yeah.
Yep, just going crazy. There's going to be multiple ties.
Before long, Ty's going to be sending Bruce Campbell just emails begging him to produce anything. Just do a short on YouTube of him putting his socks on so Ty can go look at what type of brand of socks
We'll
he's
start
wearing.
rating his tweets.
There you go.
Yeah, just be emailing him. Hey, Bruce, I got an episode here in a month or so, and I don't have anything for it. You think you can? You can
picture of you naked on a bearskin rug or something?
Yeah, I think you guys can shoot an Alien Apocalypse 2 or something here.
I got tickets to Bulgaria.
Can we do something with that?
Oh, geez. But today we're doing an episode which doesn't have Bruce in it. but it does fit into something we talk about a lot here, being a Bruce Campbell podcast. Why wouldn't you talk a lot about Evil Dead?
Right, and it also fits with it being October.
It fits with October, and also it has Ted Raimi in it as himself.
Yeah.
Well,
As himself. That's
as
true.
himself, yeah.
Yeah.
We are doing Creepshow Season 2, Episode 1, Segment 2, Public Television of the Dead.
Dun-dun-dun. It aired in 2021. So this was actually, I thought this was going to be older than that. So this was pretty recent. Written by Rob Schrab. Rob Schrab. And directed by Greg Nicotero. God bless America.
This bit will never get old.
Why are our bits just so...
It's such a... maybe it's because because I know this guy so well. It's just Nicotero. It's Nicotero.
Nicotero?
Yeah, Nicotero.
You just let me stumble over that. You knew how to pronounce it.
I didn't think you'd have trouble with it. I honestly didn't. I was like, it's
Nicotero.
It's an easy word to even like just sound out. It sounds kind of like nicotine.
At least make us look good.
Yeah, it sounds like nicotine a little bit. I figured you at least...
Oh yeah, that's true. I think that's what the problem was. My brain kept just wanting to say nicotine.
And see, I just assume everybody knows who Greg Nicotero is.
Based on fucking what?
It's Greg Nicotero. I just assume everyone knows who he is.
It's not a goddamn answer, Ty.
He did the effects for almost all the Romero zombie movies. He does effects for The Walking Dead. He directs a lot of the episodes of The Walking Dead. He directed this. It's Greg Nicotero.
So now we know who to blame.
He is one of the most prolific practical effects artists of all time. It's like Savini, Nicotero. I just figured you guys.
Listen, I know.
I just
Savini.
assume people know.
Nick, let that motherfucker die, man. Let that show die.
That show will never die. I just seen their this is all the way back in. We're recording this on September 29th, so it's obviously who knows how many Walking Dead shows are in that have taken place in the interim. But it seems like they have a whole like franchise. I stopped watching that show back in season 4. I think was when I lost that.
When they got to the prison is when I ducked out.
Yeah, that was a wild. That was a lot. I tried watching the last episode just because of it's the last episode of Walking Dead, or air quotes, and I tuned in for about 15 minutes and it was just unrecognizable. There was like stormtrooper looking guys walking around, and it just, I didn't recognize any of the characters.
You gotta have Nazis.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Well, yeah, not those stormtroopers. The Disney stormtroopers.
It's post-apocalyptic. You know what I mean? There's going to be some type of fascist uprising. So I mean,
yeah,
right.
Well, it just looks so different from what we knew from the original. Like I didn't like these were technically advanced super soldiers, and it's just like,
see, you've already jumped, in my opinion, the shark of a major problem that The Walking Dead had was the zombies were supposed to be like the terrifying thing, not the background fucking, they happen to show up every once in a while.
I think you get like 4 seasons, maybe 5 out of a zombie show, and that's just about it.
Yeah. Right. And that is a symptom of that show going way past what it should have been.
I never even started it. I've seen like bits and pieces
the first couple of seasons were good. I'll tell you, the one episode that stuck out to me was called Chupacabra, and it was in the first season.
Oh, that was a good one. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's
when Daryl became finally became a character. And it's just him the whole episode just getting the dog shit beat out of him.
I think that was second season. I think it was second.
Was it second season? Yeah, it was. Yeah, because they were at the farm.
Yeah.
That was a good episode.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
What about Creepshow? Has anyone ever seen the movie Creepshow before this?
I remember watching the old ones when I was a kid.
Yeah?
I remember watching it, but I'll be goddamn if I could... I think I'm getting it and House mixed up.
Okay.
In what?
House?
House. Not the Hugh Lowry show, you guys.
No.
Okay.
The 80s horror movie.
Okay. Man, I haven't. I neither House nor Creepshow. I don't think I've seen neither one.
Honestly, I don't think I've seen House.
I think so. It's because this was back when I was that was back when sci-fi was good, and it kind of spurred my love of the cheesy 80s. But that was way back. I think I'm getting this too confused.
Tyler's liable to crucify you talking bad about sci-fi.
No, he wasn't talking bad about sci-fi. I was more flabbergasted by him saying it's when he fell in love with the cheesy 80s stuff. But
that's what is, I mean, like I was 12, Ty, you mature, you bastard. Some of us.
I was like, where's this Ben coming from? It was like, oh yeah, all that cheesy stuff I know Ben for enjoying.
It was right before I read the Vampire Chronicles and went through my edgy phase and came out the other side of that, you know?
Hashtag relatable.
But this Creepshow.
Wait, you came out of your edgy phase?
Go to hell, Ursa. Ursa, did you know? I'll mention it now. I'm going to mention it in like every podcast that I've been. Somebody made a comment on Cult of Lore and they deleted. I wish they hadn't, but they said that I sound like Stan from South Park.
Oh, now that you mention that.
Right?
I thought he'd get a kick out of that. I actually think that's hilarious.
They deleted it, but
I wish they had.
I hope by now they've put it back.
Yeah,
they should put it back.
I don't know why they deleted it. It wasn't offensive or anything.
No, I thought it was funny. I immediately brought up YouTube videos of Stan. The first one we clicked on was him ranting. It was so funny.
Oh, it was great. So,
now, this was, as you said, written by Rob Schraub. I looked up him because I was curious. He wrote 2 episodes of Rick and Morty, and also he wrote another episode of Creepshow, apparently. And he also wrote that movie Monster House. You remember that animated kids movie from like the early mid-2000s? He wrote that. Wow, that was like his big project.
Monster
but
House.
he's an executive producer on Rick and Morty as well.
Oh, no kidding. I wonder what episode.
Or was.
Yeah.
Was.
Maybe was. Yeah.
Let us know we're recording this. Rick and Morty is still technically a thing where we're at.
Yeah.
Well, let us know by October how that's going.
Right.
Now, this Creepshow show here on Shudder, I've watched it here now. It's really hit or miss because like they're very cheap, like you can tell, and you can tell in this one there was a lot of corners cut, and some of them are like shockingly cheap, but then others are like shockingly good, where it's just like it's a really weird contrast on the other episodes, which is why I've always had a hard time getting into it, because you'll watch some that are just boring and nothing happens. You can tell they're really hindered by the budget.
Do you think they each have like their own individual budget where it's like, this project kind of sucks, we'll give you this one's better?
It's possible. I wonder if like they kind of budgeted out, like you have 2 segments, or like, all right, this is our A segment, we're going to like put our money toward, and then this right here is the B segment, we'll kind of cut back on a little bit.
Yeah,
they have a wild holiday special on there. And it's one of the craziest. Like I don't even know how I feel about it. It's like it's a guy goes to a werewolf support group on Christmas Eve, where he is like it's all these people that are werewolves, and it's at this church, like a church basement. And
you know what that reminds me of? Eric once did a film where he was a counselor at a zombie support group.
Yep.
Oh wow.
I wonder if we could dig that up and put that out there.
Yeah. He won't exists on YouTube.
He won't only put the one movie up on here. So
what one?
The good one.
The good one?
Jelly?
Yeah, you're like, I don't want it up there.
But it is, isn't it?
It's not on this channel. It's on another one.
Oh, I didn't want it.
Well, we're going to link to both of those in this.
Yeah.
Oh, well, fine. I changed my mind. Whatever.
But
Jelly's funny.
You guys already.
It's great. Jelly is great. We all worked on Jelly together. It was an early Cult Talk Net production. We didn't even know it yet.
Proto Cult Talk Net.
Proto CT it. Tried to think of something clever there. I couldn't quite do it.
We got robbed for that first place.
What's that?
When we got robbed for that first place.
We did get robbed first place. Robbed.
Yeah, we were, because we entered Jelly into a competition and it got second place instead of first. It was terrible. That was detrimental.
But
so
this Creepshow, Public Television of the Dead. We'll talk about it here in the episode, but this is a pretty cool, like, I don't know what you'd call it, a spin-off, unofficial, like, it's Evil Dead adjacent. I don't know what you'd call it. It's obviously heavily inspired by Evil Dead. I mean, that's
There's
so
like
much.
basically.
I would call it a spinoff.
Yeah.
I don't think inspired strong enough.
Yeah, it's like Evil Dead in a studio.
Basically,
the Necronomicon they use in this looks like the prop from Evil Dead 2. I looked it up.
A little bit, yeah. It's a little different, but it looks pretty. It's pretty damn close.
It's about the same size.
Yeah.
So I would say that it's
and it's got Ted Raimi in it. So
Yeah.
As himself, which was kind of, I didn't
himself.
expect that. I didn't expect that. It's like, we have Ted Raimi, and it was just Ted Raimi.
It was nice to see him playing himself.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just really weird. But let's go ahead and let's talk about Creepshow, public television of the dead. Urs, it's been a while since you've been on. I don't know if you remember or not. Can you get us to the next segment?
Let's get into it.
No, he couldn't resist.
I know that's not it. But I mean, I'm like, let's get into
Let's
it.
give Ursa the benefit of the doubt on stuff, and now it's like, fuck him. Fuck him. He's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, now he's
sabotaging it.
exposed. Yeah, Urs is trying to hijack all the CTN shows from inside.
From the inside. He's going to
I'm a
get
double
into
agent.
it.
Shut up.
Let's get groovy.
Hey, there you go.
Grab your boomstick and fire up the Delta. It's time for ACTION. Join the cult of Campbell. Groovy.
And if you're lucky a little later, I'll let you play with my
Public television of the dead. I think for all of us, this is the first time watching it, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put this off for a long time because I think we kind of like mentioned this when we was like doing planning back in like early Cult of Campbell days. We had like kind of talked about this for a second. I put it off from watching it for a long time just because of that.
Oh.
If
wow.
we did, I've long since destroyed that memory.
Yeah.
I've watched like all of Creepshow except for this episode. You would skip over this one just for Cult of Campbell, basically, in case it was because I fell into that thing where, you know, sometimes I'll get a Bruce Campbell movie and be so excited to watch it, and it's really bad, and then I have to watch it again for Cult of Campbell, and it's miserable. So, I put off watching certain things until I have to.
Just gonna do it once.
Yeah,
That's how we do it.
Yep.
yeah. Well, sometimes like was it Alien Apocalypse? Alien Apocalypse. I watched that by myself. Did not enjoy it. Then I watched it with Urs and Eric, and fucking loved it. So it's all about different. It's all about when and where you watch it, I guess.
Yeah, that was a fun one to watch with people.
Yeah. But Creepshow, Creepshow, public television of the dead. This is a really cool concept. I mean, when I read the description of it, I thought like, man, that's a really good idea. That's an interesting concept. The whole like antique book thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like just bringing it in to like some antique show.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah,
It reminded me so much of childhood.
Oh, right.
I know.
That explains a lot. That explains a lot.
All these shows, because there were like 3 shows that we saw.
3 shows. Yeah, we had
I used to like Bob Ross, and I never got into Antiques Roadshow, but I mean, yeah, the storybook thing reminded me of what was the lamb story thing?
Shit, I don't.
Lamb chop.
Lamb.
Was it Lamb Chops or was it
maybe?
Is this a song that no? Oh shoot!
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
What was the lamb? That was a lamb puppet on PBS.
Yeah, I know the puppet you're talking about because I have Shy has a dog toy of it.
I loved that show. What
Lamb
was
Chop.
it? Lamb Chop. It is Lamb Chop.
Yeah, Lamb Chop.
That explains it. That's a cool little Easter egg thing. So that when the show opens up in the magical library, they're talking about how they're like finishing up a story, and she's like, you know, and the farmer from that day on never ate pork chops again. So that's a cool little thing. Maybe it's a little throwback.
Probably a nod there.
Lambs and porks are different things, but
they both had chops.
They do both have chops.
One thing that got me was how did they get that like 70s and 80s style plastic just perfect for that puppet's face?
Oh yeah, that was really
seriously
good. It reminded me of there's another bear. It's it was like a restaurant chain back in like the 80s. It was a little bear, but it reminded me exactly of that because I remember my grandma had a toy of it in my playroom. I never went to the restaurant, but I remember this like bear, and looking it up years later, it's from some like Chuck E. Cheese type restaurant from the 80s. But
did it have like a red sweatshirt?
I think so, yeah. but it had that like cheap plasticky face like this puppet did in this.
Fuck, dude. I think I vaguely remember what you're talking about, but I mean, I'm scraping the back of the brain.
Yeah. But boy, these shows really did look like the shows that we would watch when we were.
So we had 3 shows. We're introduced right off the bat to the Magical Library, hosted by Mrs. Bookberry. And these are all on the TV station WQPS Channel 13 in Chicago. WQPS. And we're introduced to Mrs. Bookberry and her puppet named. Did you guys catch this Easter egg?
No, I didn't.
The puppet's name is Henrietta.
Oh,
Henrietta.
No, I did not catch that, but that's great.
Do you know who that is, Eric?
No, I don't get it.
That's the Deadite that Ted Raimi plays in Evil Dead 2.
Oh,
and Evil. Yeah, it's the mom,
right,
in the basement that comes out. You know,
all bloated.
I'll swallow your soul. That one.
Yeah, with the sweat leaking out of the ear.
Yeah. That's Henrietta.
Holy cow!
So the puppet bear is named Henrietta.
Huh.
Little Easter egg for you.
Yeah,
there's a couple of those here which I caught. So now we're introduced to Mrs. Bookberry, who is wrapping up their show. We see these 2 kids watching, which they'll kind of book into the show,
right,
or the segment. These 2 kids watching
them in the middle too,
right?
Yeah.
We check in with them. They're the audience. You know, they represent the audience,
and we find out that Claudia, who is our heroine of the show, of the segment, her name, she is a studio executive. She's gonna make some cuts, but tonight, or they're getting ready for their big pledge drive, which is a thing they used to do back in like old I don't think they don't do that anymore, do they? Like pledge drives?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, because now we all
I don't watch it on PBS.
Yeah, now we all have to pay fucking $15 a month to watch anything. So
right,
they don't have to. But yeah, pledge drives were a thing they used to do back in the day, whereas like it funded PBS. PBS was public broadcasting station, so they would do a thing where they would get like all the stars of the channel, and they would put on like a variety show, and you would call in and you donate money, and that would help finance the shows.
Yeah.
So that's what a pledge drive was. And they're getting ready for their big pledge drive. Mrs. Bookberry, we find out, is a bitch here. She's not very she's not much in common with her TV counterpart.
Or anybody else for that matter.
No,
I was not a fan. I really hated that they made me feel bad for her a little bit.
All toward the end?
Yeah, like right. I know. I said something too. I was like, oh yeah, of course. Now they're going to give her like sympathetic daddy issues, and then you know the next thing happens.
Oh, I don't care.
I won't spoil it, but
it doesn't make. Spoil what? Well, doesn't make me feel any
working our way through the plot.
I don't give a shit if she had a bad daddy. Who got, like everybody got bad something. Like fuck you. You don't get to be a cunt for no reason.
I know, but it was just such like a stupid like. Oh yeah, and here's this factoid about her right before she stops mattering.
That's all that's what the
Claudia
does, man.
Who we follow through the station. She gets bitched at by Mrs. Bookberry. She's just a cunt. And Claudia moves on to her next show, which is The Love of Painting with Norm Roberts.
Norm Roberts.
Yeah, I couldn't put my finger on who that was.
He reminds me of someone, right?
Someone.
There is a very strong resemblance to somebody that I may have seen at some
I've come
point.
across before.
Yeah,
you know,
something.
Yeah,
it's very It
reminds me of like Happy Little Trees or something like that.
You guys don't think this character's inspired by anyone, do you?
Oh, you know what? Now that you mention it,
I don't think
you
so.
don't think so?
Completely
No, not at all.
Completely original character.
Yeah, completely original.
we cut over to The Love of Painting, where Claudia shows up as they're wrapping up an episode, and she arrives just in time to tell George, who's the producer of The Love of Painting. And he's doing everything. He's producing. He's running audio, running camera. Yeah, he's running everything. Yep. He's a one man show because this channel is in financial dyers and everyone's pulling extra weight.
Yeah.
Now Claudia tells him, him and Norm, that they're cutting The Love of Painting.
Yep.
Love of Painting is going to be no more. And Norm is just completely fine with that. He's like, oh no.
I love that. I love that segment where he's like, "We're painting the sky. There goes the dawn." It's over.
Yeah.
And I think we're done here. We've done everything we can, my friends. Just like I love that. That was great.
I loved it. It's like he just like, oh man. He's like, can I finish the next segment? And she's like, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
just do the last show. Yeah.
He just loved painting. And George tells him like, man, like tells Claudia like, that sucks. That's all he's got. He's he hasn't been quite right since he got back from overseas.
From NAM. Yeah.
He was part of the Tet Offensive. He had to do horrible things to survive.
Do horrible things to survive. Jesus Christ.
For such a very docile man, he had to do horrible things. Never quite was.
I was gonna be so pissed if they didn't give this character something to do. I was like, this actor is great and the performance is great. You better give him some stuff that's worth his time.
Yep.
I was worried they were going to do that thing where they build someone up to think they're going to do something cool and they just kill him really quick.
Exactly.
I was worried.
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
Me too. Spoiler, there's a part where he's going to go fight a deadite and he rolls up his sleeves and shows his Marine tattoos. And I was like, you can't. I was like, don't goof this. Don't goof this. Don't goof this, please.
I was so worried it was going to be one of those gags where he does that, shows the Marine tattoo and then he charges and gets his neck snapped, or
they punch his head off or something.
Something stupid like that.
Oh, yeah. I was
Thank God they didn't.
My sphincter was so fucking tight.
Yeah.
I was like, please don't do that. I'll shit on the whole thing. I hate it if you do this.
But luckily, they did this character right. They did.
That was fucking great.
Yeah, they had a lot of affection for him for some reason. For some unknown
I
reason.
imagine that if you were going to base your character off somebody that was as awesome or as wholesome and probably as well loved as whatever character you would base this type of character off of, shitting on him like that probably wouldn't be a good idea.
Seriously. No. Yeah, there would have been an uproar.
If you were to base them off somebody. If you were.
On a completely unrelated note, did you guys know that Bob Ross was also in the military?
Really?
Yeah.
He didn't see combat.
He didn't.
Wow.
But he was in there.
Totally unrelated to this character, of course.
We were just looking shit up like that today.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah. It wasn't NAM, but
it was not.
No.
It was Alaska.
Wasn't Mr. Rogers?
No, he was not.
Mr. Rogers wasn't?
Nope.
That is a rumor, right?
It is, but he was not.
Oh, okay.
He was never in the military. I don't.
Now we go on to our next show, The Appraiser's Road Trip,
which is not the Antiques Roadshow.
No, it's not the Antiques Roadshow.
No.
Which my mom loved. Antiques Roadshow.
My dad would watch that show all the time.
I remember seeing that a lot when I was a kid, like on TV, but I don't remember ever like being real memories of it. Just remember it being on,
Oh no,
one of those daytime TV shows when you're a kid,
right? Like in the waiting room or something.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Oh no. It was on at my house. Lot.
Yeah. My dad really liked watching it.
Every once in a while, there would be something cool on there that would actually grab my attention as a kid. I was like, that's worth how much?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
Now, they did suck me in with that pattern of like, wait, I want to know how much this shit is. They really did. They threw me right in.
That's the same pattern they would use later on in like Pawn Stars and stuff. That's what that shows.
Yeah. And
wait
there is something satisfying about watching somebody that's like, I've had this in my family since the dawn of creation. Like, actually, it was made 12 years ago in Taiwan by a poor guy who jumped off the edge of a cliff.
I always love it in Pawn Stars when they have those people coming in like to sell something and they're like, well, what are you trying to sell it for? And the person gives like a story like, I'm hoping to, fund my new business and I'm looking for startup cash. And, this right here, I've had it for a long time. And they're just like, we'll give you $12 for it. We'll give you the cab fare.
Once the buddy expert comes in and he's like, this is not real.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was one guy that he brought in 2 handguns and they were two. I think one was black powder and I think the other one was a revolver. And it wasn't even on the same show. He came back twice. Both times he found out that those guns that he paid like ridiculous amounts of money to were fake. And I mean, the second time he was so like, I know those shows are largely fake, but this guy had to be really pissed off because he was just like beep and just like beeping all over the place. And you could just hear him walking out. He goes, my fucking wife's going to kill me.
Oh my God.
I had a friend once who I won't call him a friend. He was a friend of a friend kind of thing, someone I knew in passing. And he was an idiot. And he bought this gun from World King. It was like just some single, shot, just shotgun, just a little shotgun he bought for a couple $100 or whatever. And for what he bought it with the intent that he was going to resell it. And his idea was he bought it, took it home, and sanded all the bluing off of it.
What?
So that it would rust. And he thought he could take it to like a pawn shop, they would be like, this rusted gun, here's $1,000. And he takes to a pawn shop and they're just like, we're not giving you anything for this. Like it's not,
it's no good to us.
And I remember he ended up in defeat just giving it to one of my other friends. And my other friend, went and refinished it. But that was his plan.
Rusty
was
gun.
to sand off, like meticulously sand off on the bluing out of thoughts that it was going to like somehow make the gun appear more valuable.
It's aged. He aged it.
Wow. That is like unbelievably stupid.
Exactly.
Like,
wow.
Was he?
Yeah, he was just dumb. He wasn't mentally handicapped. He just dumb.
Okay.
He was
I was
fucking
going to say,
stupid.
what? I was trying to find a way to ask what size bus he rode.
No, he was he was just stupid. He was just stupid. Thought no one coerced him into doing this. He just one day thought, hey, I got a couple $100. I could, they say make your money work for you. I could buy a gun as an investment and then flip it by taking a piece of sandpaper and sanding all the bluing off of it.
You know what the saddest part of this story is? He got the gun.
He did. He did. And my other buddy, he just gave it to him out of defeat. He was just kind of like, well, fuck.
I mean, that's
you can take it. My buddy took it, and his dad blued it, and it was fine. So.
Some people, they just have an idea and don't give it a second thought.
No, do not give it a second thought. No.
Yeah.
Now we go off to the Fraser's road trip here, and who is our host? Our host is Goodman Tapper. If you know your Evil Dead.
Last name sounds familiar.
If you know your Evil Dead, you will know the producer of the Evil Dead franchise, Mr. Rob Rip Tappert.
Oh,
so there's another Easter egg for us. Yeah. We got a Tappert in there, and his guest for today, showing off a very rare antique book, is none other than world famous celebrity,
the illustrious
Ted Raimi.
Thunderous applause.
Ted Raimi, close personal friend of Eric and I's. Ted Raimi.
Oh yeah. We met him once. I'm sure he remembers it.
Our co-star for Bruce Fest 2022, Ted Raimi. Great guy. We were happy to have him. And I'm glad to see he's doing good things, doing big things.
All right, fuck it. No, if you guys see the video of them meeting him, Ted doesn't come within 10 miles of you guys.
No.
I couldn't believe what that.
Eric, he
completely got you guys.
He ignored Eric's handshake. Eric put his hand out.
Ignore it. He put the Grand Canyon between you guys like you had syphilis. That was oh my God, that was so funny.
That
we
was
were
a fun
watching
time.
it when he came out on stage and he was just like, nope, I'm going the other side. I should have come in on the other side of the building.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
He was completely fine. I mean, he was clearly cool. He's backstage, but he was fine.
getting ready to go on there.
God, that was so funny.
Ty handled all that.
I handled all this.
I remember the event.
I told Eric, a lot of the conversation I had with Eric when we was doing this whole thing was like, just let me handle it. I was like, just follow my lead. That's what I kept telling Eric. I was just follow my lead.
And I just, okay.
Eric did just follow me around.
Just like, follow the lead. Yes.
I made sure to talk to Bruce and Ted. Everything worked out. Eric just stood behind me.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Yep. But anyways, I digress.
Oh, Lord.
Ted Raimi is a guest on the Appraiser's road trip, and he has this book that's been in his family for years, he says. And it is a very weird looking book. It's made out of some leather that our host Goodman Tapper can't identify.
Couldn't identify the type of leather.
It has some facial looking features to it.
Yeah.
And it's locked. It's locked. Now, one thing I did notice is it's Sumerian rather than Kandarian.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, he kept saying Sumerian, which I was like, it took me a while to remember, like, oh, this isn't an official. Because I was like, well, it's Kandarian.
Right, it can't be the,
It's Kandarian.
But then he says, I speak Klandari.
I love it. He just happens to speak it. Like, why not?
Well, my favorite bit is when he's like, it's locked. And he's like, do you have the key? And Ted's like, I lost it. but here it is. Like he's
I
like,
lost it, but then
it's like such a weird thing. So I lost it. Like that's gonna be a plot point. He's like, I lost it, but I found it.
Yeah,
I like that little beat. It was just goofy. It was just like it's just a weird beat to have in there.
Ask Ben what he thought about it.
What'd you think of that, Ben? Of that bit?
I think Ted's so. I have no problem with Ted after he spoiler alert becomes a Deadite.
Yeah,
okay.
But he's not a good actor. Like I went in this. You can ask Eric. The minute I had a problem with this, I was like, God damn it! I like complete clean slate. Wanted this to just be fine, but like his acting. Like
the thoughts and opinions and views expressed by Ben do not represent Paul Campbell in this.
and I'm not like my nose up in the sky or nothing. Like I'm factoring in the cheesiness. I actually really like this. I thought this was really great. But, like he's just not. He wasn't as good as the other actors that were in this. Is my problem.
Okay, that's fair. He's often not the best actor in a lot of stuff he's in. He's usually not as good as other people in the show.
But what me and Eric kind of settled on is he does better. He does actually very well as the Deadite. So it's just he's a better creature type actor,
like a character / creature actor.
Which is fair.
Well, he's playing a Deadite for the last like 30 years. So I mean, he's experienced in that role.
Well, that's good as long as he doesn't touch rapping or robots ever again.
God, I'm gonna message my friends at Bruce Fest and see if we can have that'd be a good feature to have this year at Bruce Fest is a Ted Raimi rap concert. No one else on that thinks that'd be a good idea.
Oh,
am I alone on this one?
Ursa, you usually can speak his language.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
So they open the book.
Comment.
Goodman Tapper opens the book and just starts reading it willy-nilly. Now I do have a question. Ted is very excited about selling this book, and he asks him, how much is this worth? He tells him it's between what do you say, like $40,000, $10,000, something like that. It's a
I don't remember.
5-figure. It's
$400,000.
$400,000. Jesus Christ!
Nice.
Well, then he says, now let me ask you guys this: Camaro or hot tub?
Camaro or hot tub?
Yeah, you taking the Camaro or a hot tub?
I don't have another choice.
That's it. That's the question. He asked. He says he's either getting a Camaro or hot tub, and he asked Goodman Tappert, Camaro or hot tub.
I would go hot tub.
You go hot tub? That's what Goodman Tappert said.
Why would you go hot tub? Just out of curiosity.
I would take the rest of the money and buy a real car.
You're assuming that that's an option. I don't think that's how gift giveaways work.
Well, I don't think it was a gift giveaway. He just, for some reason, I guess,
whenever deciding what he wanted to buy with the money.
Yeah, and he said either a Camaro or a hot tub, and Goodman Tappert said hot tub. So, what about you, Eric? Camaro or hot tub?
Hot tub, I guess.
Hot tub? Wow.
I like hot tubs. They're a little bit of maintenance, but so is a Camaro, isn't it? I don't know much about cars.
Neither do I.
Or hot tubs, for that matter.
I'd probably go with the Camaro, to be honest with you.
Camaro?
I mean, listen, hot tubs have to be outside, and I have to put on a metric fuck ton of sunscreen, so how much realistic time am I going to be spending out there?
Yeah, but hot tubs are more of a nighttime thing, I feel like.
Mosquitoes, I'm not into it.
You'll find a problem in any good thing,
torches,
Ben.
Man, you got the fucking tiki torches. Put up around your hot tub.
Listen, I don't know what you're into, but I don't do tiki torches.
I've had a lot of fun in hot tubs, buddy.
It's a good hangout spot.
What? I don't think that's what Ursa's talking about. Ursa,
we'll move on.
Depends on what you mean by hang out, I guess.
There's a lot of ways I can be thinking. We'll move on here. We don't want to track the wrong audience. We have the views and opinions expressed by Ursa do
not necessarily reflect
like, God damn it, how many times am I going to say that?
I love it when these two are.
Now, he awakens, of course, the Deadites and immediately infects Ted Raimi, who just fucking stabs Goodman Tapper in the head with the key.
Yep.
Just beds it right in his fucking skull. And he takes up, he lifts off the ground, kind of like Henrietta did in Evil Dead 2, where he's up in the air. And I liked it because we've always heard like join us, things like that from the Deadites, but they tied it in really nicely with this story to where they're getting ready for the big pledge drive. So he says, "Pledge to us, pledge your soul to us." I thought it was really nice how they tied that in and made it different.
It also explains some things like at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah, it ties in with the story, and it's a nice. It's a really
good tight 20 minutes.
Reference. Yeah,
it's a really tight 20-minute episode. They did a really good job.
Yeah,
we were talking about the special effects before.
No, we haven't talked about special effects.
No, you mentioned it before.
Oh,
maybe it was before we started recording.
Or the guy who did special effects for like Walking Dead.
Nicotero.
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah.
Well, when Ted Raimi first comes up, they're lighting like behind him, and you can completely see like the shadows of the harness and the wires.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think that's where some of the cheapness comes in, and like the rush to shoot these things. I feel like
I didn't notice that
because I'm pretty sure Nicotero does all the Creepshow episodes. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
I think so. I know he produces them.
Huh.
Yeah, so he might just be like kind of worn thin, maybe.
Yeah, he directed the one before this. He did not. Okay, so I've run across one already that he hasn't directed.
Okay, so that's not true. I know he produces that. He's a producer of this. I know.
Yeah,
because this is kind of his baby to bring it back. So I think he worked on the original. I think he was like an intern on the original like movie with Savini.
Don't they usually rotate credit for directing on shows like this though, like series?
Yeah.
Shows?
Oh, I have no idea. Is that right?
I think like writing and directing. I think they rotate.
No kidding. Okay.
Now from this point on, the entire studio, WQPS, is completely overtaken with Deadites. Deadite Ted Raimi just haunting the place.
Yeah.
We cut over to the Love of Painting right after this.
Yep.
She's watching the final episode. I can't think of what her name is.
Final episode of the Love of Painting.
What was it?
This is where he had that line that you liked. Oh, the girl Claudia.
There we go.
Yeah, Claudia. Then George is the producer. And then of course Norm is the totally original painting guy.
My man Norm,
original painting guy.
One of a kind. Nobody like him in the world.
No one's like Norm Roberts.
Nobody.
I wish there was more people like Norm Roberts in our world.
We could use a real life equivalent of Norm Roberts.
We could. If only there were such a man.
If only there was.
Yeah, they're watching the very last episode. And that's that line you like, Ben, where he's like, this is all we can do.
Yeah, it was surprisingly like where you're like, oh, this actor's, and it was delivered really well. Like there was no cheesiness in it, but only because if you were to portray a character like this, you would have to inherit some of their natural cheesiness that I would imagine they have.
Right.
And it was just like him truly like setting up the farewell.
It was great.
Show.
He was painting his last piece.
He was. I like how he thanked the day, like as like
he was speaking to the audience. And everybody.
Thank you this whole period of time. Thank you for it. Yeah, it was super positive.
It was very clever. Yeah. Very clever. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That's why I was
getting like a good role model.
That's why I was getting so testy when I thought they were going to screw him over. I was like, oh come on. This actor's really giving it his all right here. Like,
now, wasn't this when this when Ted comes into the Love of Painting, right?
Yep. And he rolls up his sleeves and decides, sir, if you're not going to behave, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
It's Norm v. Ted, round one.
Yep, round one.
And yeah, this is where I thought I was so nervous they was going to kill this character off in some bit, but luckily they don't. He kicks Ted Raimi's ass for a little bit.
Yeah, gets some punches in, lights his face on fire.
I told Eric after he lit his face on fire, I was like, okay, if he dies now, I'm okay because he put in a good fight.
Right? Yeah. They're not like trashing on the character.
Yeah. What did he do? What did he swallow? Paint? Was that what he swallowed?
Paint.
No, it was paint thinner. It was the mineral spirits.
Oh, that's
mineral spirits.
I was wondering what it was. Yeah, he swallows mineral spirits and blows, lights his lighter and catches Ted Raimi's face on fire.
Yeah, like spits it out of his mouth and
And from this point on, we have like a crispy skull Ted Raimi the rest of the
time. Crispy Ted,
which I'm pretty sure was just Ted was done shooting for the day, and they had a stunt guy with a mask on.
Maybe I'll bet he.
Probably he at least did the voice for it from that point.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
But
he's still doing a lot of physical stuff. Like, that was really him on the wires and everything. He was doing good. Like, I know it kind of looked cheap, but like
I kind of like
was
that
doing
about
it.
It fit the show. Because it show like if you watch more of it, it's very like they. It seems to me they spend more on like the guest appearance, like the actors, or maybe because I mean, like the segment before this has Kevin Dillon in it. They have episodes like David Arquette and stuff like that, like William Sadler and all those are in episodes. So they like to get these like horror icon actors and they kind of just use them and like they put a little more money on who they have as a guest star.
Right. Yeah.
But like I said, this is if you watch more of the show, it's very hit or miss. It's kind of rough. So it's like, man, you watch one good episode, you're like, man, that was awesome. Then you watch another episode where it's like, what the fuck was that? But
I thought I think they used their budget well in this one.
Yeah, I
for sure.
think everything was like the set design and everything was really good.
Yeah.
It felt like a 70s
TV set.
Yeah, it felt like a 70s public television show or something.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's now we're left with Claudia, Norm, and George, who I thought George was toast. I thought he was like, I thought he could have died any minute.
He should have been. I don't know why they actually kept him around other than to have 3 people.
Right.
For that ending, that finale. I don't know.
And George is my one. He has my one solid, like, what the hell were you guys thinking?
Yep.
Giving George the Groovy line. Are you kidding me?
I know. I was like, why would you do that?
He didn't earn that in a fucking slightest.
Not even a little bit.
It wasn't even like cool how I said it, wasn't it? Just something like, man, that's groovy or something like that.
Yeah,
it wasn't earned. It wasn't cool. It was. I just kept like every time I saw this guy, I was like, who's that again? Like he just really didn't like the fact that he was the director for Norm's show.
Right,
kept just slipping over my head. I just couldn't retain it because he wasn't much of anybody in this, and then he gets the Groovy.
Yeah, I know. Like I thought they should have gave Norm the or at least Claudia. Claudia should have had it.
Yeah.
Right. Since they were building her up to be like the hero of this thing.
Yeah, she was kind of
that would have been way better.
Yeah, she was like kind of the protagonist, so she would have made sense. Norm would have made the most sense because he was kicking all the Deadite ass for the most part.
Yeah, I'll tell you why Claudia would have made sense is because the Brooke lady.
Bookberry.
Yeah, Bookberry.
Mrs. Bookberry.
Yeah, she called her like Sista or something like that.
Yeah.
So it would have made sense for her to then, when she does the thing that she does at the end, for her to go Groovy.
With the same snark.
With that same kind of snark.
Yeah, either that or had Norm say it after he caught Ted's head on fire.
Right.
Norm, you could have done it anywhere.
Yeah.
Literally at any point.
Yeah.
But to give it to George, really?
Made no sense.
I don't know
the only thing I could think is they're like, well, we got to give him something.
I guess they're like, we got it. Yeah, because he's a pretty forgettable character in this, so maybe they're just like, we'll at least give him the Groovy. I don't know the idea behind that.
It is the only reason I've remembered him this long.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
It's because you're like, you pissed me off, sir.
To bitch about him saying Groovy.
Right.
But that's my only solid complaint in this entire episode.
Because the conflict with the Deadites is like all the fighting in the studio is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did really good with that.
It's just like it's very much like watching one of the original Evil Dead movies.
It is. Yeah. It really is.
This is where we cut because I forgot about Mrs. Bookberry for a while in this episode.
So did I.
And like
so did this episode for a bit. I think.
And then we're reintroduced to her in her dressing room. What's that?
Her and her daddy issues.
Yeah, her and her daddy issues.
Yeah, this is where the bear, her puppet Henrietta, starts talking to her as her father, telling her how disappointed he is, telling her how disappointed he is, and she's doing the whole like, I'm sorry, Daddy, like I'm gonna make you proud, I'll make you proud, I promise, and they'll all see and all that stuff. And that's how, as we know from Evil Dead movies, that's how the Deadites get inside your head and kind of infect you and turn you into a Deadite.
Yeah, and that's where she gets killed, right? She's just killed right there in her dressing room.
Yeah, she gets her face ate.
Yep, by Ted. Ted jumps in and eats her face. Our heroes, they stumble upon the the appraiser's road trip set, and I thought it was kind of weird when they're like looking around. George goes, and I was like, they're not going to show us that whole segment over again, are they? But luckily, they just show us enough to fill in the blanks at the end, because there's things that they say in the end that they wouldn't have known unless they seen the thing. So that made sense. We got like those things, like the car, the Camaro hot tub line. We got that. All that shit. And then they're like, then no one, she asks Norm, because Norm's looking around. He's like, do you see anything? He's like, just dead friends or whatever. Yeah. And then he's like, and this jar of coins, I'll buy you a soda if we make it out here. And I was like, what the fuck is he
Silver
carrying?
dollars.
Yeah, silver dollars. Like, what the fuck is he carrying silver dollars around?
Yeah.
But it kind of makes sense at the end a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I thought that was kind of.
It doesn't make. It sets up. Yeah.
It sets up something that's confusing.
It's very obviously we have this thing because we need the thing.
Yeah.
That's very much like it was. I was watching the whole time. I was like, they had to just like been like, well, what the fuck do we do here? Shit. Yeah. I don't know. Let's do this.
There's no logical reason to have that.
No.
Yeah, because like even those silver dollars are set up like early on in the episode, like during the intro of
they're supposed to be like Civil War money or some shit.
Yeah, like they're set up in like the introduction of Appraisal Road Trip. They're like they focus on like how much are these Civil War silver dollars worth and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so they set them up.
It felt out of place there too.
It did. It felt out of place the whole time. And
I don't even remember that part.
Me neither.
It's very quick. It's very quick.
And the bit that it leads to, I don't think was worth it.
No, the bit that leads to is so. That's what we're talking about. It's so confusing.
Yeah, it was shot weird, and it was like
it was shot very cheap. It's where the show really showed its cheapness in this in that bit because it was just it just looked lame. I don't know how else to put it. It just looked lame.
Little stuff bothers me. You guys know that.
Yeah.
What bothered me is he pushed the snowblower one way and then pushed it back the other way.
Yeah. Oh, it was still shooting
the ejection's on the other fucking side when you're pushing it back the other way, guys. Come on.
I thought of that too. I noticed that too.
We'll get to that part because after this, they figure out they figure out the plot or they figure out what's going to happen. You know, as we know, this is the night of their big fucking pledge. Which, by the way, she fires like one of their show hosts on the night of the pledge. Isn't that like kind of detrimental to the whole point of the pledge?
I think she was told what was her name? She reminded me of that
Claudia,
that lady from Harry Potter. The evil lady.
The pink lady.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Umbridge.
Oh, she was she wasn't nearly as bad as Umbridge.
No, but she seemed like she was going in that direction.
I think she was holding the telethon thing hostage for that time slot. I think that's
Book Bridge. Okay, yeah.
But my question is, couldn't you have just? Did you have
Bookberry.
Did you have
name, right? Bookberry.
Bookberry. You said Bookbridge. Like Umbridge.
Shit. Yeah.
See,
funny.
that's how close they are.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
It does. Yeah.
But why'd you have to cancel the Love of Pink? Could you have just given him the old time slot and be like, all right, do the best you can with this time slot now?
Yeah.
Well, she said in a throwaway line that it wouldn't survive the time slot.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a throwaway line. It was quick.
Yeah.
A lot of fast stuff happens.
Yeah, but why you even try?
It's 20 minutes,
give him the chance. Let him fight it out. Jesus. Be like, we're going to assume that you're just going to shit the bed. Goodbye.
Ben is so upset at the audacity of WQPS to cancel Love of Pink.
Hey, listen. Yeah, if you're going to attack what I would assume to be a beloved figure and you're going to cancel them, you need a goddamn good reason.
This is the same exact argument of when he's talking about like Warner Brothers and stuff. It's just the fictitious WQPS. Warner Brothers cancels Henry Cavill's Superman. WQPS has the audacity to cancel the Love of Pink.
Listen, I have to
it's
do
the
something
same argument.
It is. They're both attacking beloved public figures, is all I'm saying.
What only exists in the span of this 20-minute segment?
But he feels like he has a reach much greater than that.
Ben really fell in love with this character over the span of the show.
You're attacking what would be the symbol of the character.
Right.
Symbolism.
You're hanging on Eric way too much.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Oh, geez. I like when we have Ben on Carter Campbell's. It's always fun.
Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. And now what's going to happen here is we know the big pledge is tonight, and they're going to be doing a live broadcast all across Chicago, and because people are tuning in to help save WQPS. And what they find out is that the Deadites are going to use that time slot to read the Necronomicon and infect the population of Chicago with Deadites, which isn't that's a pretty good little plot. I thought
it is. That's
an interesting plan.
Yeah, I liked it.
It's clever, but it also leads to some pretty funny shit as well.
Yes.
It leads to what is my favorite scene of the entire show.
So here we go. It's they raid the set where we have Ted Bookberry, and yeah, now he's got that stuck in my head, and Goodman Tapper, who is not dead. He's a deadite, but he's not dead.
Right.
Now it's those three versus our hero trio of Norm, Claudia, and George. Yeah, and they're already reason. Bookberry is ready to read the book, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because doesn't she have the puppet on her hand?
She has the puppet on her hand, yeah. Which I thought was hilarious then there. That was one of my favorite bits. That was fucking hilarious. I love cheap puppets. I don't know what cheap puppets crack me up every fucking time. I don't know what it is.
Cheap puppets, cheap movies, you know.
I'm a cheap person. I don't know.
You don't have to spend a lot of money to throw tie on a movie.
No, you really don't. It's sickening sometimes how little these movies I watch are cost, but hey,
they make up for it.
It's not about how
heart.
much you got, it's how you use it.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's right. Humble beginnings.
Beginnings. Here we go. Their plan to stop this is very confusing because we have a never before mentioned snowblower.
Yeah.
Which it's never set up.
Introduced the snowblower in the Antique Roadshow too.
Did they? Was that? Jesus Christ! I missed that.
Yeah, it was the snowblower, the broadsword, and the coins. They got all of it from.
Oh wow!
All of it in the end.
Wow. Yeah, see, I missed that.
Yeah.
That show was literally just there so that they could have their props.
MacGuffins. It was just prop fodder. Is all it was.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it really is. I mean,
why is a goddamn snowblower on an antique show? That makes zero sense.
It was antique snowblower.
Yeah, maybe it was. I don't know, like Marie Antoinette snowblower.
Okay. I'll give them this because I'm making fun of it like it is a cheap cop out, but it is kind of clever. Like their whole thing is based around like shows from that time period.
Yeah.
Right? So it was a clever way to like work stuff in like this.
I mean,
I approve of the snowblower's presence.
Right.
Period,
I mean, you have 20 minutes to make a 3-part, like basically a movie in 20 minutes.
Yeah, you got to do it still has to have that 3-act structure to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have to shoehorn some stuff in. I
guess. Need to shoehorn a snowblower, man.
I don't understand this. The snowblower makes no sense.
Yeah.
But
there had been
if they really wanted to have it in there, that was
the jar full of coins.
Yeah,
sense.
That's kind of with me.
So I could forgive the jar full of coins if it wasn't compounded with the snowblower.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
If that was the only one that I was like, now that's fucking weird, I'd be like, okay, one weird thing. But
so it was what they did. They come in, they yell at the Deadites. I forget what they say. Something to get their attention.
We're going to beat the devil out of you.
That was it. That's a callback. Yeah, it was a callback line from Norm saying
this
something like that earlier. This is my favorite part. And he whaps the paintbrush. He's like, you beat the devil out of it. Yep. That was it.
And then they shatter the whole jar of silver dollars.
Yep.
Start up the snowblower, run the snowblower across the silver dollars, and launch them like projectiles, and pepper all the Deadites, all 3 of our Deadites. Just pepper them. They do the whole like shake it around.
Did they ever establish that the Deadites had like a weakness to silver or something?
No, because it doesn't kill them. It just
it doesn't. Right. I'm just trying to figure out why it had to be so like
there's so many whys. I don't know.
I know because that's like
first off.
That's a common against evil, you can use silver, right? That's a thing, I guess, but like that wasn't usually never to establish that in your lore.
Maybe that's just my brain grasping for like anything.
Because I'm trying to figure out why this part was even in this, but I wonder if it was because something else that's part of Evil Dead is like the innovating, like you're building some weird gadget in the movie at some point, and I wonder if that's just what this was supposed to be.
Well, then to quote a much better movie, mediocre.
Agreed. I'm trying to put my finger on why this was here. But what anyway.
I mean, yeah, it's just what you got?
It doesn't
you ask
do
me questions. Yeah, I know. It's I don't know. I watch most movies, I don't really ask why or look for things. I watch most movies like I'm like Terry Schiavo, pretty much. That's how I watch movies.
Wow.
I'm barely coherent. I'm just staring at the screen.
The views expressed by Ty and Ben are not necessarily those of Cultog.net.
I don't ask for explanations, and I don't really do much of anything but stare at the screen and just consume what information is thrown at me.
What is happening? Ben is crying. What's going on? I cannot. You two are nuts.
That was so fucking funny. I just gotta watch it like Terry Schiavo.
I mean, that's the best thing I come. That's the first thing I come. That because this is an audio podcast. I got to help our audience visualize what I'm trying to purvey. And that would be,
oh Lord,
that would be it.
God, that was funny.
Terry Schiavo sat in front of a screen with mosquito on it. I don't know, but that's it. But yeah, because there's not really any. There's all this stuff, and it's set up. They took the time to set up these things,
right?
Not really explain why they're here,
right?
So all the Deadites are peppered. They're all kind of weakened, and now we have our 3 bad guys, 3 good guys. We have that whole thing. So
yeah,
what is it? George takes. Who does George go against?
Oh, who does he fight? Well, they do a little bit of switching around, don't they?
Yeah, they do a little bit of switching around. I know like Norm takes Goodman.
There we go.
For
Norm
a little bit
Goodman.
because
they're friends. Not start with George. I can't connect to George.
I can't think of anything about George. I really can't. Other than him saying groovy. And he survives somehow.
He does.
And
it's terrible. So Norm and good. What's his face?
Goodman.
Antique Roadshow.
Goodman. Goodman. Tappert.
Tappert. That's a good way to remember it.
They go off, and then we
Claudia
have Claudia goes against Ted.
Bookberry? No.
Ted and Bookberry. I think. I don't know. It's that part eludes me. I know she beheads Bookberry.
Right.
She does behead Bookberry,
and then she gets grabbed by Ted.
Then she gets grabbed by Ted. Okay. Now, Ted gets paired up with George because after they get shot up.
That's right. No,
George runs over and he's like, Ted Raimi. And Ted's like, in human form.
Right.
And he does the old Deadite switcheroo on him where he's,
Yep.
I'm a good guy, but nope, I'm a Deadite the whole time.
Suddenly his face is back to being, burned off and he lunges.
Yep.
That's right. I remember that now. Yeah.
One of my favorite parts is those kids that are still watching this, the kids from the beginning,
because now it's a live broadcast. It's the
head gets
pledge.
lopped off.
Yeah.
Ty, was that your favorite part?
What?
The kid when it flashes to the kids.
That was one of my favorite part was just the puppet. I don't know. Cheek puppets crack me up. I don't know. When she punts the puppet off of Bookberry's hand, I love that. But I did like where the kids were watching Bookberry get beheaded after watching her from the beginning.
That was my favorite scene in the whole thing.
That was great. Yes.
Cut to the kids and they're just like sitting there like mouths open. The mom's like, "What are you guys watching it in there?"
And while this is going on, the puppet is still possessed. It grabs the book and it starts reading. And I can't remember if it's Claudia or Norm who punts it, who kicks it off the hand. I can't remember, but one of them kicks the puppet off of Bookberry's hand.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that. It was probably thematically, it would make the most sense if it was Claudia.
I think it was Claudia.
Yeah.
She kicks it off, and that things kind of end there. We cut to weeks later, according to the lower third.
Yeah.
And the studio's running fine. We find out that the love of paint is going to be taken national.
Woo!
And she tells George, George's like, really? We chopped Mrs. Bookberry's head off on live television.
On live television.
And she's like, they thought it was just a stunt.
And they're like, well, that's lucky.
Yeah, that's lucky. And it cuts to our 2 kids who we followed through the show, and they're Deadites.
Yep.
And that is Public Television of the Dead, Creepshow Season 2, Episode 1, Segment 2. Wow. What a good one. What a good one.
That is a mouthful.
And I think we'll go ahead and talk about give our thoughts on the show here in our next segment. Let's go ahead and let's talk about the quality of Campbell.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Public Television of the Dead. What'd you guys think of this? It was a short one. Nice little 20-minute episode.
Yeah.
It's a lot shorter and a lot less painful than what we sometimes have to endure on this show. So that's always good.
Ursula, what'd you think of it?
I really liked the blend of Evil Dead and PBS. It was great.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. It's just
brought
crazy.
to you by viewers like you.
that was just crazy. I came up with that concept. It's so genius. It works so well.
Yeah.
What was your favorite moment, Urs?
Oh wow. Probably the beheading.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that's gotta be.
I wasn't expecting them to cut to the kids, and then when they did, I was like, "Oh, that's fucking great."
It was like the perfect time to remind us that they're watching.
It was great.
My favorite part had to have been just that Norm character. I mean, I don't want to steal because I have Phil and Ben's want to say the same things. I don't want to steal from him, but
no, go ahead. By all means,
man, that Norm character, that was such a good character. Like they did a really good job of just making that character so damn endearing for the little amount of time they had it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, and they gave him plenty to do. They didn't waste him. He was not wasted.
So this episode was like 20 minutes, 25 minutes roughly. We only had 6 characters, 8 if you count the 2 little kids. There's only 6 characters in it. And they did a pretty good job of kind of like fleshing out or giving us kind of like an idea of who these characters were.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it worked out really. They did a really good job of being efficient.
They were efficient.
It helps out that for some reason you almost feel like you know these characters from before.
Right. Like they're based on something from our own childhood.
Yeah. That was. That's a good point.
Yeah. It really helped. And seriously, I think it was a good idea.
It was a great idea.
It did immediately. We were immediately rooting for Norm because he might have reminded us of somebody who may or may not exist that we've seen in shows before.
I think there's a movie of that may or may not have existing person. I think there's a movie coming out with him.
Oh, is that right?
I think so.
That would be interesting. Huh. I would want to see that.
It might be already out. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so I think that helps a lot with
you can play a little shorthand with the characters that way.
Yeah. And to be honest, with something this short, you do have to play shorthand.
Yeah. So, take it where you 20 minutes that's pretty short.
Like I know we're making fun of the Antique Roadshow thing, but that was a good idea to use that as
it just didn't have to be a snowblower.
I just didn't like the whole bit. The shooting the coins, the snowblower.
Probably the best way to introduce an Necronomicon to PBS.
Heck yeah. Yes, it was. Yeah. And did you notice the people that survived, the 3 that made it versus what was it? 3 that didn't, became deadites and stuff. The 3 were the ones that had integrity. They were the ones who were like, no, we just want to be doing this. It's for the audience and, stuff
you
like
heard
that.
it here first, folks. Eric saying that Ted Raimi has 0 integrity.
Well,
no integrity for Ted Raimi.
He was selling out this book that
Ted Raimi is also a sellout.
No
integrity and a sellout.
God, don't you dare drag me down with
Thank
this.
you.
I almost shook that man's hand once, Ben.
Validation, no integrity, and a sellout. Love it.
The views and opinions expressed by Eric do not represent those of Cultober.
Yes,
we all got one in this episode.
We all did. God bless America. No, Ted, I love you. I'm sorry.
He's in your Facebook profile picture, you bastard, and you just turned and you just.
I can't believe I would say such a thing. I don't know what came over me. It must be.
You know what you are? You know what you are? You're a fake Ted Raimi fan.
Whoa! Oh! Ouch!
You're just saying you like Ted Raimi to seem cool in front of us, aren't you?
Calling me a phony on the air, live in front of our listeners right now.
You're a Ted Raimi coat. You're a Ted Raimi coat rider. Is all you are.
I'll have you know.
You have no choice but to side with me now.
No. The line has abandoned me.
Riding the coattails of Ted Raimi. Right to the top. Right to the top. Oh, shit.
What the fuck is happening with this show? This was a 20-minute episode that we watched.
I know.
We're an hour and a half
involved into madness.
We had fun. It's always a good sign we have fun.
It was a blast.
So let's go ahead and let's rank this show. We're not obviously Bruce isn't in this. We can't do a rating of Bruce, but we're going to rate the show as a whole, whether it be groovy or not groovy, and just whether or not we really enjoyed it, because we don't have a quality of Campbell to base off of this time. So it's just if you enjoyed it, it's groovy. If you didn't, it's not groovy. So Ben,
I'm gonna
groovy or not groovy?
It's a groovy. My only hard complaint is giving George the groovy line. Like, what the fuck were you guys thinking doing that? Other than you need to give him something. But beyond that, this was really fun. This was a lot of fun. There was a character that I was fond of. I won't rant on that anymore. but it was great. I enjoyed the shit out of it. The blending between the two ideas was genius. So it was
fantastic.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Ursa, what about you? Groovy or not groovy?
Groovy.
Groovy.
The only thing that I didn't like was the sad daddy story for Miss Bookbridge.
Yeah.
I would have just rather hated her so I could cheer for her to die better.
Especially if it's just going to go right in there right before she gets killed. Why bother then?
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this a groovy as well. What a fantastic little story. Who would have thought PBS meets Evil Dead? That's just a interesting concept somebody dreamt up and they made it work. And it was damn enjoyable. And man, the characters in it for the 20 minutes we got to spend with them, I loved it.
Yeah. Nope. I kind of wish this was the whole episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just give it like an hour, an
40
hour long.
minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes to do it. I'd have been along for that ride.
What about you, Eric?
I am absolutely going to give it a groovy for all of the reasons mentioned before. The story and the setup and the concept itself was brilliant. And it was great seeing Ted as a Deadite again in something. I think that was really fun. So love you,
Despite
Ted.
having no integrity and being a sellout.
Absolutely love you, Ted. And I think you're a genuine, hardworking man.
We answered the time-old question, can a movie sans Bruce Campbell get a groovy? And it did. We watched Creepshow here on Call to Campbell. Not one glimpse of Bruce Campbell, and it earned itself a groovy rating. Wow. It almost seems like that groovy rating doesn't really matter at all. It doesn't.
Actually, it's almost like Ty saying that Bruce Campbell doesn't matter at all.
Oh, don't you try to put that in my mouth. try to do that. But there we have it. That was now. Let me ask you this. This is an interesting question to end this on. Would you want to see a feature length version of this? Think it would work feature length?
Yes, I think it would have.
Okay.
No. I'm going to say no. I would do a 40-minute, like a full TV episode, but like a movie version, no.
I think it would kind of get lost over the, as they stretch it out, we got lost a little bit.
I think you would start introducing more characters. Nah. I would do a full solid 40 minutes, but a full movie, no.
Honestly, I think with like the base plot you have here, I think it would be hard to get 40 minutes out of it even.
Yeah, it might be.
I know how you could. You just do original shows.
Yeah.
First, and it would take up time to learn those shows and those characters instead of having the shorthand that we had here.
A cool bit in this would have been.
You could mix them. You could do a mix.
You could. Right. Yeah.
Imagine if there had been like a show, kind of like a Teletubbies type show, and that those fucking guys in suits got dead-identified.
Yeah. You could do that.
Wasn't.
You could bring in Mr. Rogers.
Oh my
God. You could have. That would have been, right?
Like imagine like a Barney Deadite or something.
Like all gnarly looking.
There's ways to pad it out.
I imagine there would have been more stuff of like Claudia getting like pressured to like, you gotta cut this guy or whatever. Like, there's stuff they could have done. I don't know.
You'd have found out that Bookbridge was blowing the boss or something.
Yeah. Her doing coke in her dressing room, like stuff like that.
Yeah. I wouldn't have made it a long feature length, but I think it could have been a feature length.
The 90 minute standard. Yeah.
I'd have watched it.
But there you guys have it. That was Creepshow, Public Television of the Dead, our very first Cult of Campbell of Cultober 3, and zero Campbell in it. Shockingly enough. And we are going to have 4 episodes of Cult of Campbell this month, as well as an episode of Cult of Russell is going to get squeezed in here. And this is one of 2 episodes of Cult of Campbell that we're going to do this month that do not have Bruce Campbell in it. We'll keep you guys waiting with bated breath to find out what the other one is. But here we have kicked off Cultober. It's our very first week. We're coming in hot. This whole week is full. We have Cult Talk Conspiracy tomorrow. We have our very first Wednesday Cultober exclusive movie review on youtube.com/culttalknet. We have a Halloween edition of Cult of Lore coming out on Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, because we ain't got room for this shit.
No wiggle room here.
Because Friday we have our very first Friday Cultober exclusive of the year. So
what?
And that goes on. We have something Saturday, which we'll go into then, and we have Sunday. We have another Cultober exclusive. It's crazy. You
guys are getting a lot of Cultober.
Yeah,
this whole month
is fucking stacked, and this all leads up to our Halloween Day special, Addams Family. What a good way to celebrate Halloween. Don't get us copyright strike.
No, well done.
I blew the fucking episode.
Nice job, asshole.
Damn it.
Way
we have
to
do the whole thing over from the top.
But there you guys have it. Thank you for joining us. We hope you had a great time. Definitely, if you have a Shudder subscription, go check out Public Television of the Dead, Creepshow Season 2, Episode 1, Segment 2. And if you don't have a Creepshow subscription, just get a free one. I think they're cheap as hell. But I would suggest
free or cheap.
These things are mutually exclusive. Ty
Shudder steals money from me constantly. I have the subscription. I've had it for like 2 years. I barely fucking touch the thing. It's just so cheap. I don't realize it coming out of my account.
Oh yeah, they do that. Like, it's just under the radar. It's like
yeah,
that's right.
It's like $5.99 a month or something like that. So I don't recognize it. I just never registers them. I'll just be like, I have this app.
It's really only worth it like once this time of year. Really,
it really is. It really is.
But they have some fun stuff.
Yeah. Unlike Tubi is available year round for free. And we don't have a sponsorship, but
they are not sponsored by us.
But I mean, while we're
can't
on
afford it, they're free.
Tubi is really, Tubi is kind of killing it.
It's great.
They are killing it.
It saved our butts a couple of times.
It saved our
fun.
butts.
They have good movies on there.
Wow, what a totally natural thing for us to start talking about Tubi here toward the end of this.
Right.
And if you use promo code Join the Talk, you can get a free subscription to Tubi.
Stop it. That's not true.
For free, you can have Tubi year round. That is a near 0% discount on the regular price. So we're putting the money, we're putting the savings in your pockets. That's what us here at Cult
savings.
100% savings in your pockets. That's just our Cultober gift from Cult Talking Net to you. So
you know what's going to be fun is if we actually do have a sponsor by then, and we're going to have to find a way to fuck this up.
we get sponsored by Shudder after ripping on for like 2 minutes about how shitty. We'll edit it
guys.
out.
Well, I have to go watch Antique Roadshow now. So
yeah, I'm gonna go watch The Love of Painting.
That's right, because it wasn't canceled.
No, it wasn't canceled.
Totally.
There you have it. I'm Ty.
I'm Eric.
Go fuck yourself. I'm waiting. No, I ain't doing it. I got all night.
I said it.
Okay, I bet.
Happy paintings and God bless. Stay groovy.
Stay groovy.
Hail to the king, baby. That's it? That's the best you got?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.